Okay, I don't really know how else to say this, but I have regrets. I tried a KTM 300XC and a YZ WR 250F 4-stroke, and I'm contemplating life a little bit. For those of you that don't know, I smashed my pipe on my KTM 150XCW. It is currently in the shop getting fixed, so I had the opportunity to test ride other dirt bikes, which is a lot of fun and also scary at the same time. The first dirt bike that I tested was my husband's, Kenny, his YZ WR 250 4-stroke. Naturally, this bike felt tall for me. It felt heavy. It is a 4-stroke, which I knew going into it. I was able to touch the ground if I scoot my butt cheeks over. He did lower his bike a little bit for him, but again, he's 5'8" and I am just shy of 5 feet. So there is a difference there. He also has an aftermarket handlebar. This particular bike is heavy and tall, so naturally the bike felt stiff, and I really did not want to fall over, tip over, and have the bike land on me. Knowing that it is heavy also, and having a weaker left knee, I just didn't want to come down and try to bear the weight on that weaker knee. While riding Kenny's bike, I kept it low key, did some slow moving drills. It has been a while since I rode a 4-stroke, so the power delivery is different. I found this stock clutch lever to be extremely difficult to use. I could only ride for a few minutes and then would have to stop to stretch my fingers out. As I was pulling the lever, the clutch lever, I was getting these pings, tingles going down my finger into my wrist, which resulted to some cramping. I was also experiencing some hand palm pain on the throttle side, and so that left me only able to ride for a couple minutes at a time, and then I really had to do some of my hand and finger stretches as and wrist mobility because it was just really hard on my hands. I do have weaker wrists, which will be on another video in the future. Some wrist mobility exercises. If you are interested, let me know. I'm sure the reason why my hand was hurting a bit on Kenny's bike, my throttle hand, is because his brake lever is positioned lower than how I would like it. So I'm curious if it was just the way that the handlebar throttle was pushing on my hand and how I had to reach for it. I mean, there's a few other variations that could have led to the hand hurting, but other than that, it was good if I just took some breaks in between. The back brake lever was quite far from the peg, so my foot was moving back and forth, which is something I'm not used to. I always ride with my foot over the brake naturally, so that I found kind of hard to get used to, was moving my foot so much, my back foot. Overall, yes, Kenny's bike was stiffer than what I'm used to. However, with a few adjustments and customizing the bike to me and my size, which is under 5 feet, I really think this bike could be a lot of fun. And I was having a lot of fun when I was testing it out on my enduro park. I am pretty stoked that I was able to ride it as is and take the skills that I have been working on with my KTM 150 and apply it to this dirt bike. The log punches or the log hops, however you want to call them, felt so good and controlled, which I am very happy about. Yay me! To be honest, even though I have been working hard on my skills, I do think the bike did most of the work. Again, I was very surprised with the power delivery and the instant clutch release for obstacles. Whereas on my KTM 150, I have to work a little bit harder to get that power and to get that clutch timing perfectly. On the YZ WR 250 4-stroke, it did it all instantly, which I'm not used to. So that was super cool. Next up, the KTM 300XC. My buddy Carson came up from Squamish and we sessioned my enduro park together. I was on the YZ WR 250F and he was on his 300XC. We were trying new things. For me, it was doing a log hop on one of our bigger logs in the park, which I was really excited about, and Carson was trying bigger features and obstacles that he would never have the opportunity to try elsewhere. So that was cool. It was a win-win for everyone. When you are sessioning enduro parks, you always get some feedback afterwards, and it's fun. You can work on your skills that you can apply it to the trails. So we had a great time. He offered me to try his bike, his dirt bike, and since I was riding the WR250F, I thought, why not? Since I can't really touch on the Yamaha, what's the difference? It's gonna be the same thing. I know how to ride bigger bikes now. I couldn't touch on the 300XC either, but I was able to ride it, which is exciting. And as soon as I jumped on it, it felt so nice. He had the Midwest Mountain Engineer clutch lever on, and it felt like butter. His suspension was really nice. The frame of the bike was very similar to my 150, and his back brake lever was also very nice to use. I felt really comfortable on his bike because it was very similar to the two-stroke KTM 150 that I have. The obstacle that I tried with the 300XC was the cookie cutter launch pad. That's what I like to call it. And it surprised me with how little throttle you needed to get over the obstacle. I wasn't expecting to almost gapping the entire feature. I just wanted to get onto it. So when I came off, I was surprised, shocked, and instantly felt like this is a bike that I will need in the future. From my history of dirt bikes, I am used to peppy, snappy bikes, but never considered a 300XC until I tried it. I am currently going through regrets. Regrets in that I shouldn't have tried it, because feeling the short power delivery was unreal. I was able to lift that tire with little effort, which blew me away. I bought my KTM 150 XCW in hopes that it would be my forever bike, but now I'm thinking this may not be the case. However, I am so happy with my KTM 150 XCW and believe that if I would have jumped from a 105 SX to a 300 XC, I would have hated it. It actually took me a while to get used to the 150, and it took me a while to get comfortable with it. And now that I love it and have been working hard on getting comfortable with it and the clutch and the throttle control, I am now able to ride bigger bikes that are not set up for short riders like myself, which is pretty wild. If you would have told me exactly a year ago that I would be riding a 254 stroke or trying a 300 XC, I would have laughed in your face and probably given you a disgusting look, because I just didn't want a big bike. They scared me. But I must admit, I have grown as a rider, maybe not taller, but I'm a little bit more wiser, and I've worked really hard to get to a point where I can ride all the bikes. And that feels pretty damn good. I'm gonna give myself a high five for that, because like I mentioned, I never thought I would get to that point where I can just hop on anyone's bike and give it a whirl and try obstacles. Mind blown. I am proud for challenging myself and pushing myself to become a rider that I am today. By no means am I a professional dirt biker, but I am a rider who has grown from small kids bikes to full-grown adult bikes, and that feels pretty damn good. So those are my thoughts for you today. I am curious though, did you buy a 150 XCW and then bought a 300 XCW quickly after? Or maybe you bought the 300 XC. Maybe you just bought a bigger bike. It seems like that is the trend. At least that's what I'm learning through other women that I have talked to. I'm not in the market for a new bike, or at least not yet, but I am genuinely curious to hear what your thoughts are and what your experiences are. So comment below and let's have the conversation. I'm very excited to hear. If you haven't seen it yet, I posted a video about filming yourself when it comes to your sports. I believe that taking the time to do slow and steady drills while filming yourself can give you that instant feedback and reward. So go check it out over here. Until next time, wrap your hearts out, challenge yourself, have fun, and keep killing it safely. I will catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll chat with you soon. Bye.